First unfold the collar, then cut it out. Next, cut out the sleeves. Then place a t-shirt on top and match the shoulder points. Fold it at the natural waist point, then cut out. Add a big seam allowance at the sides. To accommodate the other seams we'll make later for the ruffles, at least 1.5 inches. Now fold the shirt in half. Make a curve for the neckline, from the shoulder point to just above the first button and cut. Remove the pocket. The back had a pleat, so I'm smoothing it out. I'll add elastic to the back neckline to make it lie well. But first I'll pin the fullness so it doesn't bother me while I work on the rest of the pieces. Now draw a line from the shoulder to the bottom in a diagonal line like I'm doing. Fold the piece so it's easier to cut out both at once. The bottom piece will be gathered and joined to the top piece. Measure out how wide you want the ruffle to be at the shoulder and also at the bottom. Mine is wider at the shoulder, then narrower at the bottom. Also measure how long the top is from the back to the front to determine ruffle length. I'll then increase the length for gathering. Now take the sleeves and cut out the cuffs. Measure out the ruffle measurements you took. I'll cut it out with a wider measurement and narrow the bottom later. It's on fold, so I've halved the measurement. I then unfold it after cutting and use it to cut another piece. This will be joined together to form one long piece, so it gathers nicely. Repeat this for the other sleeve. I want to see how this fits before I stitch it together, so I'll first pin it together, then try it on. It's a bit big at the sides, so I'll take it in by pinning it for both sides. I'll also take in this front seam a bit, especially around the bust area. I'm pinning for one side only, then I'll replicate that on the other side when stitching. I'm also taking in the back seams just a bit. It now looks much better. I'll also add elastic to the back. I'm first drawing out the line. Then I cut out. Make sure to cut the back and front separately, because here I made the mistake of using the front part of this piece as the template to cut both the front and back. Yet the back doesn't have the same contouring as the front. So this is after cutting all the pieces. This is the front. This is the back, and you can see the mistake I made. The side back piece doesn't match the center back piece because I used the front piece to cut it, but at least the front pieces are fine. Now I'm going to take the ruffle piece and narrow the bottom part by first folding it in half and marking the points. I'm using the tape measure to join the line, then cut it out. Use that as a template to cut the other one. Make a wide straight stitch for gathering, then gather. Now I'm matching the ruffle piece to the top by loosening the gathers. I'm going to join the ruffle to the side piece, but first fold the edge and stitch. I'm first pinning the ruffle so it's easier to stitch. Once it's joined together, stitch it to the center top piece. Now flip it and stitch the sides, right sides facing each other. Fold the raw edge of the ruffle and stitch. Take the bottom piece we cut earlier and gather it. Then match it to the top piece. Stitch them together. Now I'm going to add elastic to the back neckline. First fold the neckline edge and pin, then stitch it. Then undo a small area at the shoulder point for both sides where the elastic will enter. Cut the elastic 3/4 less than the back neckline, or even less if you want it tighter. Pin a safety pin onto the elastic. Now push the elastic in while pulling the fabric to allow it to pass through. After you do that, stitch the end points of the elastic in place, then stitch back the area you undid. This is the final outcome. I added press studs at the bust area button stand. Click the video on the screen to see a cami dress transformation or on the playlist to see more clothing transformations. See you next time.